Divine Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Path of True Love read for January 2020, although a timeless read. I am your reader for the moment, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of Joining the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and really thrilled to be doing these readings from my home today in my dining room. Just lovely. If you are new to my channel, please do like and subscribe. I'm making my way to 1,000 subscribers, getting there slowly but surely, but getting there. So that I can do super live chat, make a little coin on the side, because I'm getting my readings, you know, and have my clients that are coming. But it would be kind of fun to do a little super live chat. And my incentive for my subscribers to subscribe, I'll do a little ditty once a month called Drunk Tarot. I did a video about it explaining what that is, so have a look in the description box. And it is my favorite video of 2019, so yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it. So I hope you will like and subscribe and use that as an incentive. Before we get into the reading itself, a couple of things. Number one, this is a general reading. Please do check your other signs. That's why I do Sun, Moon, Rising, and I add Venus signs for anything true love or relationship based. Not every reading is going to resonate with everybody, so please just take what resonates. Even if you get like 25% accuracy in a reading, that's still pretty good for free, right? You want more accuracy than that? Book me. I'm really good. I've been doing this since I'm 12 years old. No shit, 12 years old. I'm 51. I'm going to be 52 this year. Oh my God, I'm going to be reading... Oh my God, I'm going to be reading tarot for 40 years this year. Oh my God, I just had a Peter Brady voice change as a result. Wow, okay. That being said, this is a Path of True Love read, which means this is about you, your path. Yes, we all have different relationships of different, you know, shapes and forms and experiences, lifetime after lifetime. This reading is about where you are on the path of true love. The path of true love is your spiritual path, your healer's path, your healing path, your hero's journey seen through the lens of all of your relationships, right? So if you just took your relational life, and that means your relationship with yourself, your relationship with the divine, your relationship, your mother, your father, your lack thereof, right? Your lovers, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, your soulmates, your twin flames, all of that. Which is why I do readings about twin flames and soulmates separately, because those are specific contracts. This is all about you, because it's the path of becoming true love, unconditional love, divine love, fully embodied in human form. We're talking gods on earth, angels embodied, ascended master territory here, because that's where we're all fucking headed anyway, eventually. So this is a bit of a catalyst, a reading to say, okay, well, what's going on for me? Where am I on the path of true love for a zodiacal collective, in this case Aquarius? So you can get that Aquarian higher point of view, see the larger picture like GPS. Cool. So even if, you know, certain things trigger, oh, that's my relationship with that person, it's still about what you get to do. Clarity for you. Cool. Otherwise, we'll look at twin flames and soulmates after this read at some point. Cool. Please remember to breathe while I read, because I'm doing my best to stay focused on my breath as I go, so I slow it down. Otherwise, I am like a jackhammer / machine gun when I read. I learned that from reading clients face to face, and they go, "Can you slow down a little?" I'm like, "Well, let me breathe." Right? But here, there's no one to tell me to slow down except my guides. So that's the shit, right? So if you're doing the same, not only are we more in the present moment during the reading, so we can, you know, be more present. I can hear, you can hear, you know, we'll all be tuned in. But we're also tuning to the same present moment, even though we are separated by time and space, therefore tuning to the same guidance, grace, chi, prana, life force, whatever you want to call it, telepathic, clairvoyant, empathic vibrations, whatever you want to call it. If we're both in the present moment, we're both tuning into it. So though I'm translating it through divination system into words, you are actually receiving the vibration in your own nervous system. Makes sense? Should make the reading a lot clearer about what's yours and what's not. There's a lot of intuition is what's happening in your body when you hear something, right? So even when you get triggered, pay attention. You may not like it, but sometimes truth hurts. I didn't make it that way. I wouldn't have made it that way, right? Let's take a nice deep breath and dive in then, shall we, my Aquarians? Oh, to return to that still point feels so good. Here we go. We are going to one card from 7 different decks. We're going to start with the Doreen Virtue Healing with the Angels Oracle. All the decks that I read are in the description box below at the very bottom. So you can scroll through and see I have a lot of cool shit for you to look at there. Like my books and videos and all sorts of fun shit. Cool, cool. Been doing this a long time. Let's dive. We're going to start with the angels. Oh, my angels, please. One card in clarity for this Aquarian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, please. Where are they on the path of true love from your celestial, angelic point of view? January 2020, though timeless. Whenever they're supposed to see it is when they see it. Intention. Very simple word, but so many levels, right? So many definitions. To me, intention is a combination of the answers to 2 different questions. What do I want? Why do I want it? We teach that in which class? Cycle 1, class 3, or at least we did. I haven't taught it in a while because I need a classroom to do that since the Silver Broom closed. It's all on Vimeo.com, though. Guess what? There's a playlist you can go look at in the description box. Take you right to Vimeo on demand. Those classes kick ass, by the way. Taught them for 20 years. They fucking should be. So intention. What do I want and why do I want it? Like every day you could have an intention. Today may every breath I take consciously or unconsciously be a blessing upon all hearts. Right? That's an intention. Today with every blink of my eye may every mind be healed. Right? Now that's a bit grandiose, but certainly better than having no intention whatsoever and being buffeted by the winds of, of change and chance, right? So something here that you have input, right? Intention shifts the quantum hologram, but it can't control it, but it can shift it, right? Because in any given moment, let's say you have a choice between choose left and intention, to turn left or turn right. Let's say you turn right, another quantum version, a variant as I call it, one of the variables, turns left. So your intention is important. I mean, the divine plan is going to play itself out anyway, but your participation is absolutely necessary, right? Otherwise, it's like a video game playing, but the person's just sort of standing there and the game is going on around them. You still have to interact. So keep that in mind as distant as my Aquarians, and I'm just talking to a dear friend of mine I've known for a very, very long time, an Aquarian, chatting today on the phone. And we were just talking about everything. And we can even talk politics together because we can see it from a different place. And yeah, he's spiritual, but he works in the tech field, right? He's a computer guy. So they usually have that ability to see things, and you want to keep that sort of neutral zone, stratospheric distance. But you get to have an intention too, even if your intention is to see truth. May I see truth today, regardless of the consequences or outcome. Right? That's an intention. So let's see what we can add to that by using the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, Fiona Morgan, for the voice of the goddesses. If you like, the voice of the collective divine feminine, which is half the energy in the universe, right? The other being the masculine, we'll use a different deck for that. Let's see where you are, shall we? Oh, my goddesses, please. One card in clarity for this. Breathe, Aquarian. Ooh, the Aquarian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Where are they on the path of true love for January 2020, though timeless, whichever works? Whoever's watching this, please, where are they on the path of true love for January 2020? Please, my goddesses, one card in clarity. All right. 3 of Flames. In this deck, well, the 3 of Wands, loyalty, right? Which is, I hear over and over in Facebook reads, right? It's like waiting and loyalty, right? Because it's the 3 of Wands, the person looking out over the bay, the horizon, seeing what's coming in, waiting for something. But here, literally, we have the card entitled Loyalty, which to me is certainly about priorities, right? Because you can't give your loyalty to everything all the time. So a book called In the Meantime by Iyanla Vanzant transformed all of that for me. My God, was that the 90s? I think that was the 90s, the late 90s. She said, what we are taught is, and please, this is a huge paraphrase, I do not need Iyanla coming for me on copyright infringement. All right, just not at this stage of my life. Thank you very much. But she said what we're talking is sort of like work first, then friends and family, then ourselves, and then God last, because if you think about it, we pray before we go to bed if that's how you were raised, right? She said the opposite is actually what's way more healthy and more functional. God first, then ourselves, then friends and family, then work. Now, it doesn't mean you have to do them in that order. For me, I do, though. When I wake up in the morning, it's in prayer, right? It's talking to the divine child in my heart or surrendering the day. And it's not necessarily a grandiose practice, but I pray myself out of bed rather than pry myself out of bed. Although from the casual observer, they may look exactly the same, right? Then what do? I get myself together, I get my coffee, I feed my boys, right? We do everything around the house, and then, boom, I sit down and I make my phone calls, check in with my clients, and, do this work, right? Amongst other things. So that thing of your intention, interesting, we go from intention, which to me is really an element of fire thing, just as a witch, choice, decision, like willpower, with loyalty. So intentions about loyalty, and that certainly can have to do with commitment. I mean, intention, what are your intentions with my daughter, young man? As well as an intention towards loyalty. Are you loyal to your intentions too? Nothing wrong with changing your intentions, right? Having loyalty to an intention that no longer serves, right? Like getting people to buy me cigarettes behind the 7-Eleven when I was, whatever, 16 years old. That was my intention, right? I was such a bad kid. Well, my nickname is Mal, Archangel of Lyons. It does mean evil in several languages, all Latin languages, I believe. So what we're going to do, lovely from the Divine Feminine, now we're going to ask the gods through the Mythic Tarot. What's going on? Where are you on the path of true love, my Aquariums? Nice deep breath. To always return to that still point. It's so beautiful. That's where the divine is, in the still point. My gods, please, one card in clarity for this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, and Rising Venus signs. Where are they on the path of true love for January 2020? They're timeless. Please, Capricorn. Please, Capricorn. Please, one card in clarity for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising. Where are they on the path of true love in January? Major Arcana card. I notice when I just pull one card from the deck from tarot, like more often than not, it's Major Arcana. I got the card of Justice. Now, what's interesting about that, I think I've said this before with Aquarian reads, the goddess that sits in the throne of Aquarius, for me, is Athena. And this is Athena. So I find that very interesting, considering I pray to her when I bless the cards, right? She's part of the angels, goddesses, gods, masters, what I call my collective pantheons. So there's something here about justice. Now, loyalty and justice, a very, very tricky thing nowadays, right? Jinkies, right? And particularly with intention. Of course, there's something karmic involved here. This is a path of true love reading, not what am I going to do this week reading, right? What do I need reading, kind of sort of like. But this might very well be about not just coming into balance, but coming into alignment with karmic law. And to me, the only way through karmic law is through ultimately forgiveness. So where does your ultimate loyalty lie? Is it to the high road? Justice, right? Is it about being fair? Is it about being balanced? Is it about being loyal to a higher honor code, to a higher truth? What is your higher truth? If someone were to say to you, what is your honor code? What are your boundaries ethically? What is it that you will do and what you won't do? Now, you could sit there and theorize for days, or you could just tune into your solar plexus and play different scenarios. You'll feel it. Oh, yeah. Like lying. We say, oh, I don't lie. I never lie. Well, if someone's having a surprise party, you bet your ass I'm going to lie. It depends on the thing, right? I don't want to be the fucking spoiler of the party, right? It's like, well, will you tell them that shit I'm in, right? But if this goes womp womp, I'll say ask somebody else. I won't come out and say what you're doing is wrong, right? But if it's here, it's like, I'm not really good at lying anyway. It's hard to be a clairvoyant empath and a liar, Pisces moon, right? Very, very hard. It drives you nuts. Not for me. Not my thing. Better for me to just stick to the high road. That's how I'm making my way through the divine plan, and I pity those who don't. But it takes a while to find the high road for yourself, right? So justice, keep an eye. Athena is watching you. Gray-eyed Athena. What we're going to do now is we're going to ask the Ascended Masters, and we're going to double dip with the Ascended Masters. We'll return to them on the very last deck. If you've been watching the reads lately, you know what deck I'm going to end with, because it's amazing. But we're going to use the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. The whole deck this time. We just did the What Do I Need reads for full moon to new moon January 2020 using just the problem suit. This is all 4 suits. So we've got the healing suit, the luck suit, the grace suit, and the problem suit. Keep in mind the problem suit is half of the deck because it's important to know what is the grain of sand in the belly of the oyster that makes a pearl of wisdom. Breathe. Oh, my masters, please, one card in clarity for this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Where are they on the path of true love? We've got intention, we've got loyalty, we've got justice. 3 words really interwoven and connected in today's times, probably more than ever before. So for a collective, a zodiacal collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, please, one card in clarity for this Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Where are they on the path of true love January 2020 are timeless. Top of the deck. Drought. Now, drought is specifically talking about the element of water, right? Oh, yes, it can be a drought of all sorts of different things. We can often think of a drought as, you know, like almost like feast or famine in your love life. It's like, I haven't in so long, my can't fill those in as you choose. I'm not into offending anybody, at least not during an Aquarian read. Please, talk about getting canceled instantly across the internet. A drought is certainly a lack of emotional something, right, in this card, right? So emotion is the element of water. It's just witchcraft. It's the 5 magical elements. So we're looking here at an emotional drought. Now, I will say, air signs, I'm kind of known for that, particularly Aquarians. You're known to be a little dry. Fixed air is the stratosphere, right? It's the higher elevations. It's the air that doesn't move, right? It's fixed, but also gives you that perspective, right? If you were to go up to the satellite point of view, like look at a satellite view of planet Earth, you would see such a beautiful whole picture, not so much the stress of every single person up in your face, right? So there can be a little emotional dryness here with that, which is good for perspective for the mind. But what's going on with the heart? This is a path of true love thing. So in terms of your loyalties, right, and being just, yes, of course, and with Athena, an air goddess, an Aquarian air goddess in my experience, the problem is there's oh, good word, emotional aridity. It's arid, an arid emotional field here, which is going to affect your intentions, right? If you're not feeling it, what's going on emotionally for you? Thankfully, we've got the Whispers of Love Oracle that's going to be the voices of the higher selves of all involved. So please breathe. Help, heaven, breathe in your higher self. Your higher self and your inner child are so interrelated, it's ridiculous. So maybe just put a hand on your heart, right, as you breathe every now and again. Talk to the child of your heart. Talk to your heart chakra. That kid has the keys and the codes to your higher self. And it might be pissed at you for making your spiritual path more important than it. Just saying. Higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity for this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for January 2020. Though timeless, please clarify for them, where are they on the path of true love? Higher selves, considering the angels are saying intention, the goddesses are saying the 3 of Flames, loyalty, the gods are saying justice, major arcana card, big indication of the goddess Athena there, and the masters are talking about some sort of emotional drought. Please, higher selves, what say you for the Aquarian collective? Spend some quality time together. It is imperative that we spend quality time with those we are in significant relationship with, listening to and talking to one another. So that makes sense for the element of air, the communicative part of it. But when we start to spend time with other people, that's when we start to engage emotionally. It's a way of doing the emotional intimacy little by little by little by little, right? And if you bring some politeness, some kindness, just sitting and listening to somebody, being present, is such, this is for another card I've said this, demonstrate love. Sometimes the best way you can demonstrate love is just by giving your interest. Right? Like, even if it's the most boring thing on the planet that the person's talking about, can you get into that they're into it, right? Not to get into it and manipulate them. That's as shadowy and shady as you get, right? I'm going to pretend I'm into this so I can get them into bed or what have you, right? To sit there and just really then, like, ask questions like, well, how did you get into all of this? That is a type of energetic intimacy, and really a true way of showing love and respect to somebody by just being present, not spacing out, not rolling your eyes, and not rehearsing what you're going to say as soon as they shut the fuck up. Aquarians, just saying. Not as bad as Geminis. But if I'm going to pick on air signs, I'm going to pick on Geminis. Bless their hearts. All four of them. Nice, nice deep breath, because now we're going to ask the collective pantheons. This is, when I did this reading for myself before I started this series, it was a card from this deck that made me weep. I've been having a lot of them. Something called an emotional super state, where you feel like, for instance, my experience was I felt joy and grief at the same time. Like opposite ends of the spectrum, just imploded. It was it's weird to explain, but I was so touched and so moved and so elated and so heartbroken at the same time. It was a lot. So this is here I'm going to be reading it from the book The Journey of Love Oracle. So good. It's got a written part. Well, it's mostly written, right? Kind of the first part talks about the meaning of the card. The second part is the oracular meaning, like what it means for the person who pulled the card, in this case you. And then a poem, and I find the poems to be it was very moving, the one I read for me today. Not bad for 7 cards, right? So nice deep breath. We're going to ask the collective. Nice deep breath, deep breath. Exhale first. Empty the bellows. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity. A Journey of Love card for this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Where are they on the path of true love for January 2020? Though timeless, whenever they're watching this, please, where are they on the path of true love, this Aquarian collective? Let's see what you got. Angel of Jupiter, awaken. Just Teletubby, beam me to Mars. Just had it. Can't believe I had a Timmy Brown moment from this card, but I did. Okay, so that's what it says. It says, Angel of Jupiter, awaken. Sounds like a command. Angel of Jupiter, awaken. Form, feet and legs. Totally out of Voltron Flash. So card number 6 reduces to a 6. God, he's good at math, too. Is there anything he can't do? Well, I'm making a chicken vegetable soup that's just simmering for an hour now. So good. I smell it's like... It's tomato based, so it's like Italian chicken soup. So thanks, Mom, for teaching me. She's still alive. She knows. All right, here we go. Card number 6. Angel of Jupiter, awaken. Yeah, I mean, there's sort of like a nautilus shell effect on here, like a Fibonacci spiral. So we'll see what it says, a golden mean spiral. Here we go. Beloved, within you there is magnificence, greatness, and the ability to live bolder, larger, and more exuberantly than you have ever imagined! Exclamation point. And that is Jupiter. If you know any of the astrological qualities of Jupiter, that is very that. Awaken that keen spirit, hungry for adventure and new experience. Jupiter, like Thursday, right? Jupiter, check the Latin languages. It's the planet of expansion, right? So Sagittarius, that sort of like, and I could see Aquarius in that expansive air energy. The angel of Jupiter, the spirit of bold expansion and divine generosity lives within you. Your spirit cannot be made small but must be free. Start now. Feel the endlessness of your own heart. What can be done today to live bigger? A smile? A yes to that offer of adventure? Sharing vulnerability without fear? Get to know each other? Taking a step forward into the unknown? Like, what's your intention, right? Like, they're saying this expansion can play itself in all these different ways, right? Daring to imagine that the divine doesn't just happen to you, but happens through you, as you, because we are the divine. Embrace the courage of your own open heart and dare to dream, beloved. The bold divine nature within you is calling you to great things. Now is your time to awaken. This oracle holds a message of guidance for you. You are being given an opportunity that can change your life. Don't hesitate to accept it. Now, I could see that with the Justice card, right? That thing of maybe sort of deciding back and forth, but on a major arcana level, not like the Two of Swords indecision or the Two of Wands, what do I want to do? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? This feels a little bit larger scale, and that's why with this emotional aridity, right, that perhaps your emotion's like, man, I don't know, I'm just so tired or burned out, right? So tricky. Don't hesitate to accept it. If you are acting with more assertiveness, more generosity, more playfulness, and more spiritual authority than usual, this is confirmation that this is coming from a genuine place within you. If you are experiencing some havoc in your life or a sense that things are changing, this oracle comes as affirmation. Yes, there is a change, and yes, you are outgrowing what once was, so you will be prepared to receive that which is more suited for your next stage of growth, which could absolutely lead to emotional. We all know what it's like when something's over, right? The music's over, but you're still at the party. You know what I mean? I have rat magic. I always know when to leave. Rats always know when to jump ship. I just do. It's an intuitive thing in me. But like when you're in a relationship, when it's really too late, when it's just dead in the water and you're just watching it rot, is when you can't stand the sound of their voice, right? Or just they clear their throat and you're just like, ugh, right? Get the fuck out. Leave. It's time to go, right? But that's that emotional aridity, that drought. Time to let it go. And also that needs to be revived by giving yourself the benefit of a doubt and saying, I love myself, so I feel joy. So what? I love you. I love me. I'm going to make my own choices and my own decisions to expand with that Jupiter deal going on. So here's the poem for you. Awake in your arms, I wait to stop time, savoring each moment for an eternity. Like an angel, you light the room, your love giving life to the love I've held within. Unbridled and free, our dream unfolds, and we are forever changed. Feels like on the path of true love, with that card in particular, that there is expansion coming, just has not hit yet. So what have you been loyal and waiting for? We're going to get the last card down. They're telling me before I start making summations, you can tell I was raised by a lawyer, I'm going to pull a Healing Mantra card from the Healing Mantra deck by Kahn. My little lightsabers in cardboard form. I love these. Mantras have to be repeated, and they said before I started doing this series, they're like, whatever the healing mantra is, make sure you put it in the title line, which I'm doing, if I can, space-wise, I have to make it fit. But that even if you don't remember anything else from the reading, remember the mantra, right? So write it down or save this to your watch later. I actually have a private playlist called Tarot Watch Later, just things that I want to keep for myself, particularly for things like for a month. Like if I watch it in the beginning of the month or before the month starts, I want to see, how it plays out later. So nice deep breath. I said we were going to double dip with the angels. With the Masters, the Ascended Masters. I will be reading from the book as well. One side of the deck, the card, I should say, is the name of the mantra. The other, the mantra itself. And then we'll look it up in the book. Cool. Nice deep breath. Oh, that soup smells so good. My Ascended Masters, there you are. Please, one card in clarity for this Aquarian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Please, where are they on the path of true love for January 2020? Though timeless for whenever they watch it, please, what is the healing mantra for them? Particularly with this expansion, right? We got the angels talking about their intention, that there's some intention at work here for them or must come through them, the divine working through them, as said in the Angel of Jupiter Awaken. Yet there's this loyalty, this sense of a candle in the window, like waiting for something or lining oneself up with their higher ethics and loyalty to those, indicated, of course, by the card of Justice as well. Yet this emotional aridity, this drought, maybe just that there's no one else to feed back about this, so it's all just within you, my Aquarians. Perhaps you are isolated, pulled back, not just up, but back. Spend some quality time together, that thing of communication, of that intimacy, even if just listening and really being present there. Such a way of showing love and getting that emotional flow moving. Giving your attention, the intention to listen, giving and receiving are one in truth, of course, in miracles. And then the Angel of Jupiter Awaken. My masters, you know this physical game better than anybody else. So please, what is the ultimate healing mantra for my Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this for January 2020, though timeless? Let's have a look. Invoking self-realization. Very on the nose for an Aquarian, right? To kind of pull back and have these genius, often rebellious, revolutionary realizations that then you have to try and convince the rest of the world of, right? Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Invoking self-realization. I'm going to read that. Give me a minute. I-L, come on, I-N. Invoking self-realization. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Self-realization is a spontaneous remembrance of your interconnection to all that is. You are willing to embrace your individuality as a unique expression of source and physical form. By aligning with the breath, you see that while you appear to be a person, it is the universe that breathes everything into existence. Sort of, again, indicated by this card that there is a change coming, but it's the divine working through you as you. That's why your intention is part of this. It's not like, well, what does it matter? The divine's going to do what it's going to do. What if everything that our hearts desire, the things we really truly want, weren't given, are not authored by us? What if they're written in, right? That's why our heart's desires, they're always here. But what if we didn't put them there? What if they're part of the divine plan? Well, it's our intention. No matter what happens in this life, I want all of my music out of me by the time I'm done, right? I want to fulfill all of the desires of my heart, because what if they are, being of the heart, divine? This mantra is ideal for reducing stress, managing pain, and relaxing the nervous system. I have to say, it's an interesting combo, because your intention of loyalty, you can be very loyal to your intention if you're trying to do it ethically while enduring, and I'll use that word, enduring a bit of, again, they're giving me this word, emotional aridity, right? Just this aridness. Maybe not feeling it so much here, but being like, live long and prosper. I always felt Spock was an Aquarian, and no tea, no shade. I think that's a beautiful thing. It's not logical. People want to say Virgo, but we can get down and dirty when we need to. We are earth signs. And spend some quality time together. So that is saying, on the path of true love, spend some quality time with people, right? Maybe you've been so distant and so in the third eye and crown chakra, maybe even the eighth chakra, which is really that transcendent, the upper room, the eighth chakra, the higher self, that you need to kind of integrate that, bring that into form, walk around for a little bit, and that would, of course, trigger an awful lot of perspective, right? And an awful lot of expansion in your life, right? Just coming down and sharing that, seeing your perspective of communicating with other people change. There would be this natural rippling, not to mention so much that you could share. And then, of course, invoking self-realization, right? To be able to share your own self-realization Each breath confirming how awake I already am. Sorry, wrong side. But that's not just talking about being physically awake. That's about being alive. Every breath, right? Just check the wording. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Like I said at the beginning of the read, and I say it all the time now, and it's like, breathe, breathe. Confirms how conscious, how awake, how woke I am in this present moment, so that you can really be in the present moment with other people and open up that heart, open your heart to the world. The world needs the love. Cool, cool. May the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love, to learn, to heal, to grow, to self-realize, to breathe clearly, freely, to find their intention to be the best that they can be and fulfill their roles in the divine plan for the well-being of all. And so it is, so mote it be. Thank you so much for watching my Aqua Lungs. I love you all so very, very, very much. I know some of you are hearing Aqua Lung in your head. I am too. My pleasure to read for you as always. Again, please do like and subscribe. Go watch the video down there for Drunk Tarot if you have not yet. It's fucking hoot. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed as usual. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.